Hi, it's Paul here from selfhelpforlife.com, and today I'm going to talk about the 10 principles for success in anything. Now, Tony Robbins says that 80% of success is your mindset or psychology, and the remaining 20% is the actual steps that you take, the actions that you perform. So that's a huge percentage. 80% is purely down to the mindset and your psychology. So that's what I'm going to focus on in this video. So the first principle of success is to set realistic goals and expectations. Nowadays, everybody wants the quick fix. Advertising and marketing reinforces the belief that there is a quick fix for everything, and people begin to believe this, and so they then set unrealistic goals. So they set these really challenging goals to lose 10 kilos of weight in 2 months, because that's what this program says you can do, or to be able to make $2,000 in 2 months, something like that. Now, in the vast majority of cases, this isn't true. Now, it can be true for some people, and these are often the people who end up being the testimonials for these products. Sometimes people are gifted, or they have some prior experience that means that this particular program or whatever it is just seems to nail it for them. But it's not the norm for most people. And success is a journey. So it's important that you set realistic goals, especially process goals. These are goals that are under your control. I've done another video on goal setting, and you will see that pop up here, or I'll put a link in the description below. So focus on long-term goals, long-term results. It's important really that you master the process for whatever it is, and then the results will come. Now, those crazy goals do have a place. They are part of your long-term vision. So that's okay to have those, but you need to put them into perspective and focus on realistic, achievable goals and expectations. So the second principle is to take massive and consistent action. So success in anything requires hard work. Again, the marketing and the advertising will tell you otherwise, but that's the truth. And you can enjoy this hard work, and that hard work will make you grow as a person. And you can reward yourself for that hard work as well, because what gets rewarded gets repeated. You also want to avoid perfectionism. The key is to take massive action. So watch out for perfectionism. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes and to do a reasonable job and learn from that experience. And also avoid waiting for the perfect time to start something. There is never a perfect time. And consistency is important, so taking consistent action. Certainly with anything to do with losing weight or building muscle, it's the consistent gym routines that give you the result. The same with any kind of business as well, it's being consistent. You don't get a six-pack by going to the gym once, you go by doing it regularly. The third principle is to have an open mind and be willing to learn. So the most dangerous words in the English language are, I know that. When you say, I know that, you are automatically hiding yourself or removing yourself from any chance to learn something new, any chance to learn something in a different way. So be humble and put your ego aside. Whatever your level of success, there is always more to learn. So have the belief, instead of I know that, have the belief that there is always something more to know, and there is always something more to learn. And you want to get a good balance between competence and confidence. Okay, I'm sure you all know someone who is highly confident but has very little skill, and that person can actually get into quite a bit of trouble. But then many people are the other way around as well. They have very high competence, but their confidence in what they're doing is a lot lower, so they take less action. So it's important that you have both competence, the skills, and the confidence to do it as well. Okay, the fourth principle is to learn from failures, but don't dwell on them. So failures, setbacks, struggles, adversity, and hard times. Every successful person has failed many, many times, and you need to fail to succeed. So the main thing is you learn from your failures. So it's important that you learn to interpret failure as important. It's part of the process. Failure is wonderful as long as you learn from it. And remember that failure is purely feedback. It's showing you what not to do. And you need to fail to make progress. Ask any successful person how many times they've failed, and I'm sure they will tell you many, many times. Number 5, change your approach, but don't give up. This is similar to the previous point about failure. If something doesn't work, then change your approach. Things will happen that are outside your control. Things will happen that you didn't expect to happen. So be flexible when that happens. And you know the saying, if you keep doing what you're always doing, you're always going to get the same result. That's the definition of insanity. So it's important that you're flexible, change your approach, but don't give up. Number 6, have patience. Focus on the action that you are taking rather than the results. You will make a lot of mistakes, and be okay with these and learn from these. You might struggle at times. You might not fully understand or get things. That's all part of the learning process. And anything that's new, you're going to spend a lot of time learning, trying out things, and often this will seem like dead and non-productive time, but it is valuable. And while you're doing this, don't compare yourself with others. Remember, everyone has different skills. Everyone's at a different starting place on their journey to success. And sometimes the real results are going to take, a year or even 5 years to come. So focus on the long term, keep your eyes on the horizon and on the long term. And that will give you the motivation to keep going. Okay, just to give you an example of this, with my hypnotherapy practice, before I started seeing clients or very many clients, I was spending a lot of time writing web pages about all the different things I could help with. And some of these web pages were like 1,000-word, like blog articles really. And they were taking me 3 or 4 or even 5 hours to write. And at the time I was writing them, there was no benefit that I could see to writing them, or no immediate benefit. I knew there was a benefit, but now it took about 6 months before some of those articles started to appear on the first page of Google, and people started to find me and pick up the phone and call me. Now, 2 or 3 years later, I get regular calls now from those pages that I wrote 1 or 2 or even 3 years ago. So it didn't seem like it was worth it at the time, but the results are now there. So you need to focus on the long term. Know that what you're doing at the moment may not have any value immediately, but it will in the longer term. So number 7 is to be honest, help others and maintain integrity. Now you can be successful without this, especially in business, but you won't be happy and you'll probably fear that something could happen, you'll get found out, something like that. So be honest with other people, especially people who are helping you. So that could be friends, colleagues, a coach, business partner, and help others. I mean, there's been times where I've helped other hypnotherapists who are potentially in direct competition with me, but I've learned from that experience. They've helped me as well. So you tend to get back what you give. And, know what values you're going to stand by, and particularly values around integrity, honesty, those kind of things. And it's good that you have those principles so you can live your life in a good way. Number 8, take responsibility for your success. Success is up to you. Whatever happens, take responsibility, especially for how you react to what happens. Responsibility gives you choice, and it also gives you control. It makes you open to learning and finding ways to improve things. Number 9, focus on getting better and better. This is all about improving yourself and your craft. It's about investing in yourself to learn and grow. It's ultimately about mastering the skill, the process, and the activity. So taking the time to always get better and better at what you're doing. Number 10, listen to your intuition or gut instinct. Have you ever had the experience of doing something and knowing it's not quite right? Or something making complete sense to you and seeming like the right thing to do? So it's important in those cases to trust your instinct, trust your gut instinct and your intuition as well. To give you an example of that, when I was setting up my hypnotherapy business, I had so many marketers telling me that I had to do all this stuff on social media. And to me, this didn't make sense because people go to Google to look for a solution to a problem. And so people aren't going to go onto Facebook to do that. So my gut instinct was to stick with Google, and that's what I did. And to this day, I have still done nothing on Facebook to help my hypnotherapy business. I know loads of other people that have got overwhelmed doing all this social media stuff and have got very little benefit from it. So I chose to ignore some of those supposedly successful marketers that were telling me you had to do this, focus on what my gut instinct said, which is people look for a solution on Google, and that worked for me. So really trust your gut instinct. If it feels right and you feel more committed to doing that course of action, then do it. But do notice feedback along the way. Sometimes, what you feel is right may not be right. So it's important that you look for real evidence as you're going along the way as well. So these are my 10 principles for success in anything, whether it's a health goal, relationship goal, business or career goal. Once you start applying these principles to your life, you really will start to notice success becoming easier for you. So if you enjoyed this video, please do like it, give it a thumbs up, do leave a comment, I'd love to hear what you think, and do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and click the bell notification, that way you'll be notified when I release future videos just like this one. And do check out my website, that is selfhelpforlife.com. On my website you will find the written versions to many of these videos, and also a link to my podcast and social media. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.